Welcome, everybody, to the Chinchilla Pickin' Podcast. It is August the 17th, 2025 at 4:04 p.m. As always, we hope to be entertaining, educational, and uplifting because we want everyone to make money. My name is David Underwood, and I'm joined by the one and only Baron of Bonds himself, Brandon Beaver. Brandon, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing fabulous. I have a good friend of mine. I've known him for 17 years and he just never answers his text messages. Never.
I didn't even know you texted me. Let me show you something for all of anybody who could see on YouTube here. I don't know how to not share screen like this, but 142 on red.
And you see all my send its. Started writing it backwards because I'm like, he's not getting this. Whatever. Uh See, when you've known somebody that long, I feel like that, you just kind of grandfathered in and we're stuck for the rest of our
Right.
lives. I can't just not be friends with you now. It's no.
At least I read your text just now.
Eventually,
There's
yes.
142 other text messages in there from other people. I don't know what they are.
Versus my notifications are at zero. That's two different people. Two different people. Brandon is notifications. I'm
It
like,
was an
no, I gotta
emergency.
read
They'd
it.
call
I
me.
gotta read it.
If it was an emergency, they'd call me. I wouldn't answer. They'd leave a voicemail.
You hope. You hope. Man. Anyways, what's going on, man? What's new in the world?
A lot. I mean, had the summit with Trump and Putin.
Right?
I don't know why people care about this as investors unless you're an oil investor.
I actually have an article about it.
Okay, cool.
And yes, it has to do with oil. So we'll mention that. But yeah, and then Zelensky and that team he'll meet in DC this week. So yeah, hopefully trying to bring those two together for peace. I don't think it's gonna work. Putin wants part of Ukraine, and Zelensky's like, we're not giving up our land. So,
Right.
which I completely understand that from Zelensky's point of view.
Oh,
Some
not to
people
get too
don't,
much
but
into
I do.
politics, but that's the Donbar province, if I'm
Well,
incorrect.
it's not even that. It's Crimea. It's Donbas. It's all of it. If I
Yeah.
was a Ukrainian, if you were a Ukrainian, Brandon, if someone came into Ohio and invaded Ohio, and they said we're
Yeah.
not leaving, we'll make peace if you give us part of Ohio.
So they had
Could you?
elections. They had
Could you?
elections. They had elections, and from what I've heard, the people of those areas actually voted to become part of Russia.
Yeah, I mean, but do we
Yeah.
trust those elections because they were held in time of war with the Russian military right there? And I mean, it's hard to
Yeah.
agree with. I mean, it
I agree.
is.
I get it.
It
I get it.
is. It's like I want to believe that that's the truth. I want to,
Right.
so that there could be peace because I don't like the what's going on. But you have to question it when you have the military right there with guns and tanks and missiles pointed at everything and everybody, and they're saying you need to vote, and you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely suspicious. So,
Okay.
anyways,
I know.
besides that, heat wave still continue, but it's August. People are saying heat wave. I'm like, it's August. I've lived in Cincinnati now a long time, and every
It's
year in August in Cincinnati we have 100-degree weather, and we haven't had any.
it's
So
been
it's actually
worse.
cooler.
It's been worse in the past. Absolutely. The humidity here still sucks. You walk out in 85-degree weather and you don't think that's going to be that bad, and then the humidity hits you, and it's just like the air is sweat here sometimes, which I
Sometimes.
hate. And when that makes the mosquitoes go nuts too, which is also terrible. But
Yes.
so
And
it's not a dry heat, but it's
we still get 90s in September,
yeah,
sometimes 100 in
it
September. So we still got one more hot month. People like relax.
it's
Enjoy
been
it.
worse. It's been worse in the past, for
I'm like,
sure.
enjoy the outside. Go for a run. Go kayaking. Go outside. Enjoy. Do something. enjoy it because in a few months you'll be complaining it's too cold, I can't do anything. You know what I mean? So I feel like you can't make these people happy.
Yeah, the answer for me to like beating the heat would not be to go for a run.
Well,
But I mean,
Brandon, some of us are trying to, train for a high rocks. So we run a few days a week. Like today, I did a workout at F45 this morning, and then I did a boxing workout after church. So I did workout F45, got cleaned up, went to church. After church, did boxing workout, came back, ate some food, prepped for the podcast, doing this podcast, and I'm going downtown and hanging out, having dinner. So
what is High Rocks?
High Rocks is it's like a workout competition, right? So it's not an obstacle course that you just go, you sign up and you boom, you done it. It's an actual competition. There are people who do this professionally. So there's the pros and then there's the open, right? The open group. I'm planning on competing in the open group. The only thing that would stop me from competing is I'm having some trouble with my knee. I injured it about 4.5 weeks ago, and it's not quite healed yet. And I don't know if I can complete my training in time to be ready for October when there's a high rocks competition in Dayton, which is what I'm trying to be ready for.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, and if I can find a partner, I feel like I can do it because they will give me a few seconds of rest here and there. You during the course of the competition, you are doing different events, and you run about, I would say, a little more than half a mile in between each event. So at the end of it, you ran over 4 miles, and you've competed in lots of different workouts.
Okay.
So something you would never do, Brandon.
No, yeah, and that's why I was not taking that as an invitation because you know better.
Yes, yes. I almost got Tristan. Almost
Yeah,
got Tristan. If it was
yeah.
just a different weekend, I could have got Tristan.
Possibly Nick. Maybe Nick will go with you. Mark.
Nah, nah. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't know.
All
We'll
right.
see.
Well,
Anyways, people didn't come to listen to
yeah,
that.
we're boring.
People came to listen to stocks, investments, financial advice. We have that. I do want to give a shout out to Mike, who's been a listener of ours for a couple of years now, at least, and has consistently reached out on Instagram and DM'd us every now and then over the past few years. So, Mike, thank you for being a listener for so long and continually to reach out and ask questions whenever needed. We appreciate it. We do get a number of listeners, and we appreciate each and every single one of them. Anytime we could call one out, we'll be happy to. But Mike's been a long time listener
Yeah,
of our show, so
it
thank
is
you,
a
Mike.
number of listeners. It's like
Yes.
three. This number.
And they're all family except for Mike. There you go. All right. So, rules. Brandon and I get together 5 to 10 minutes before the show, and we tell each other what we're going to talk about. You hear the live back and forth, the bicker and the banter right here on the show for you. As always, Brandon, lead us off.
You know, Berkshire Hathaway made some waves this week with the announcing of about $1.6 billion going into United Health. Now, this is a company that I've been personally looking at. It's been on my watch list, and I've been thinking about buying it. I just didn't put like too much of a I didn't really like prioritize it that much. But then once Buffett jumped in and the stock shot up 12%, I started looking at it and researching, okay, what's the reasons for Warren Buffett buying? And yeah, it jumped up 12%, but if you're a long-term investor, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. If it jumps up 12%, it could still be a good value, right? And I think this is at this point in time. I'll describe why. Let me talk about United Health real quick.
Are you going to talk about the problems they've had?
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
bad publicity?
Tailwinds, headwinds,
The
all
fact
this.
that companies are afraid to do business with them and that when contracts come up, they may lose those contracts.
Well, stock prices don't go down because things are going great. So
That's
you
true.
got to wait
That's
for good
true.
value. You got to wait for. I mean, this is like the new Coke thing we always talk about with Warren Buffett from the '80s when he invested in Coca-Cola. Um, United Healthcare. What this is a vertically integrated company. It's got two main divisions. United Healthcare is the insurance arm. So that's the payer for the insurance. Optum is the other branch of this, and that's the technology aspect of it. There's three different segments here. There's Optum Health, Optum Insight, Optum RX. Optum Health is obviously the care delivery. That's the artificial intelligence and technology that's focused on value-based care for customers. Insight is like the data and tech services for the healthcare industry. That's where this company failed last year, and this is kind of had the problems that led into what's going on right now. And then the Optum RX is the pharmacy benefit manager. So in quarter two, 2025, they had a profitability plunge. The operating earnings dropped from $4.0 billion to $2.1 billion. So cut in half operating earnings. And this was a pricing miscalculation that had
That was
happened.
for all of last year, or what?
No, quarter two. So
Quarter
year
two.
over year, we're looking quarter two operating earnings being cut in half. Revenue was fine. But yeah, the operating earnings there got cut in half. The reason why is the pricing for the 2025 Medicare Advantage plans was based on the assumption that there would be a 5% increase in medical cost trends. There was a 7.5% increase. So, I mean, that sounds like, it's not that big of a deal, but really you're looking at like what, about like a 25% increase compared to what they were thinking. So
And
this
what's the
year,
yeah, and if you look at the profit margin, see that's what exactly where I would go next is profit margin, operating, income, and like see how close, how thin of a line are they thread in there would be
right?
my next move. Like after I saw that news.
Yes. So what they're doing is they're looking at 2026 and they're saying, okay, because they price everything a year in advance.
Yeah.
So their error in estimation of the increase of inflation of medical costs is what's causing this decrease in operating earnings for this year so far. Plus, you also had the change healthcare hack that happened last year, affected 199 million people, I think it was, somewhere around there. Lots of lawsuits that are going into that. That's all one-time stuff as well. So,
Is it?
yeah, you got the DOJ looking at it. But I think the worst of the worst has been priced in here. I mean, even with all this happening, this is still a cash generating machine. Still generated $30 billion in operating, 30 billion in free cash flow for the year.
What about the bad publicity um that has come out with United Healthcare?
That's going to be a challenge. That's going to be one of your headwinds here. So they're going to have to rebuild trust with a lot of suppliers and vendors.
Have
And
they
hope.
even come out and talked about the cosmetic surgeon that recorded a conversation between her. Actually was a surgeon. I forget. She wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't. She was a cosmetic surgeon, but she was doing some surgery, and she called United Healthcare, and she was supposedly talking to a peer at United Healthcare, and she was recording this because United Healthcare called at the last minute saying that we're not going to cover the surgery that the patient needed, and she couldn't get a straight answer at United Healthcare. And the people that she kept talking to, nobody would give them their name. Nobody would give them any information whatsoever. They were denying everything. And they would say, well, we're just not going to cover it. But they wouldn't tell why. They wouldn't talk to it. And she kept trying to call different. This is a doctor calling the doctor's line. And United Healthcare just was not answering and would not give any name. And this has made the rounds on social media and among other videos of United Healthcare. Nobody giving names. Nobody saying, I don't want to give my name. I'm not going to give you my name. But then how are you going to deny everything and not give your name? It's very shady work going on at United Healthcare. And this is the stuff that it makes for a company to lose contracts when they come up for renewal.
Sure, then they're going to go to where Cigna, and I'm sure they're not doing the exact same stuff.
Blue Cross, Cigna,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah,
Kaiser.
they do the same stuff.
Yeah,
It,
they do,
it
but
is
they're not all over
better
social
than what?
media. But they're not
I
all over social media. And
I bet you I could
United
find some stuff
Healthcare
on
is.
Cigna on social media too.
I
But
haven't
it's
seen it.
all, yeah,
I haven't seen it.
And Kaiser. Well, you haven't looked.
My
I'm sure it's
algorithm is
there.
set up to find it now, and I don't see it. So
I'm sure it's there.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen
Look,
United Healthcare.
look, they're still the largest insurer in the United States. They're still the largest by far over
Yes,
anybody. And we still have a demographic situation in the United States that is not changing, with people getting older and older and older, and the healthcare market's going to get larger, larger, and larger. And I
and
think over
Medicare is
time,
going through changes with the current administration.
yes, it is. Which it'll change back once we have another administration, and then it'll change to something else in a different administration. Those are always going to be headwinds and tailwinds,
That's
depending
true.
on the
Yes,
era.
I'll concede that. That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, that was okay. So it was 192 million people that attack the hack affected there. $2.9 billion in costs. And this was a attack on a company called Change, which is a subsidiary of Optimum, which was just recently purchased by United Healthcare. $2.9 billion so far is what's estimated that this is going to cost the company. So that's going to come off, the top line.
Be a write down next quarter,
Right, it will be, and that's pocket change for them. It is. Sad to say, but it really is. Um,
which
the
is why we
DOJ,
need more Medicare reform.
I agree.
I don't want to get political, but I
No, I
mean
know. I
seriously,
agree. I agree. We shouldn't just be handing out money. It's ridiculous.
we
100%.
need we need to take care of our elderly at the same time. There's a balance to be made here.
Right, right. The DOJ launched an antitrust investigation into the company's integrated business model, the Optimum and the United Health. Um, just saying that, this could be monopoly, a monopolized practice, but it's very general. And every company that's big goes through this. So I'm not putting too much attention to it, really, to be honest with you, at this point in time. Um, they are well positioned to adjust pricing and leverage to its size to navigate headwinds. They failed at that last year. They're paying for it this year. They got another boomerang CEO who's coming back to lead the operations. Apparently, he's got Warren Buffett's trust. So, kind of another key finding that I had here, they're not structurally less efficient than their peers. The profitability issue seems to be that timing lag that they're planning to clear up and address. I think the current valuation is based on a temporary distortion. So even after the price increase that 12% that happened. So after Warren Buffett came out and Berkshire said, we purchased $1.6 billion in stock here, the stock shot up 12%. Even after that price increase, they're still trading at a valuation that is below its historical average. For example, it was trading at a price to earnings ratio of about 15.8, but that is still below its 5-year average PE of 19. Um, Another metric that we could look at here, days claims payable. That's a measure of how quickly insurers pay the claims. That declined, actually, that went down by about a day. So it went from 45.5 days to 44.5 days in quarter one. That's positive. It indicates the company is not delaying payments to conserve cash. From a solvency perspective, the total debt to total capital ratio is 44.08%. Debt to equity ratio is 27.56%. Both of those ratios are in line with the peers and with the industry, and both indicate a healthy level of leverage. They're still generating, like I said, $30 billion in annual operating cash flow. That's providing significant liquidity here to buffer any issues that I think that could still be coming out of these lawsuits. I think it's a buy. And I think Warren Buffett is correct. I think that if you're a swing trader on this, because it went up 12%, you don't touch it as a swing trader. If you're looking to sell 3 to 6 months, I would wait for a pullback on this. But if you're looking to hold 5, 6 years, maybe even more, there's no reason to walk away from the stock because of a 12% gain. Because I think you got about a 55% upside over the long haul.
So, A, I would like to see more competition in health insurance field.
Sure.
Having said that, B, yes, United Healthcare is will rise back up to the levels it was at before, around 650, 640 a share. However, see how long will it take? I don't know.
Hmm.
Am I going to invest in them? No. I'm looking at other areas. Metsera, I might put more money in Metsera. I'm currently invested in Bullish, which I'll get to later on in the show. Um, but I mean, I don't know. To me, I'm concerned with how they're handling all these high profile social media type uh concerns that have been out there. I think they mishandled the CEO event that happened earlier this year, and
Yeah,
they
you're
didn't.
talking about, I think that was December. Was it December? Let me
Was it
look.
December? It may have been December. I think they mishandled that. They didn't have enough communication and clarity throughout that process.
Yeah.
And
December 2024, Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, shot and killed in Midtown Manhattan.
yeah. So I mean, there's room for improvement now. If Buffett is bullish on this new CEO, that's a good thing. I mean, I mean, it takes a lot to get Warren Buffett to agree with you and say, hey, this guy's a good
Yeah.
guy. So
And he knows a lot about insurance. That's
yeah.
that's the thing. So
So I mean, yeah, I would agree with you, but I'm not investing myself. How about that?
gotcha. Okay.
I figure they need a better PR team. They need to hire Apple's PR team. Apple
Yeah.
is still the bread and butter of PR teams. It's the best PR team out there because Apple makes a subpar product, but everybody thinks it's the best.
Yeah, the PR's been pretty lagging lately.
Still,
I gotta put,
people. I mean, they've lost market share. Samsung's picked up market share, but it's still not nothing that really would make force Apple to actually put out a good product. So
sure. So here's the key headwinds here. So they're looking for about 10% increase now for next year. So if healthcare inflation exceeds that, that's a headwind. That
what
would
are
be
they
the,
are they making any comments if the current administration goes through with this prescription drug plan?
no, I didn't look at that
Have they
yet.
made any
I
no
haven't. I
comments
mean, they
about
might
that?
have. They might have, but I didn't look for that.
So no comments about that. No comments about like if the Doge cuts that were recommended actually become law.
No, not
Because
that I saw. That doesn't
Republicans
mean that they
can
haven't
still,
made. That doesn't mean
yeah,
that they haven't made the comments yet.
yeah, because Republicans still control the House and the Senate. So if they put that in the bill and try to pass it, they can pass it. And if they've made no, if they're not concerned, that tells me they have some good lobbyists at work.
Sure.
That's what I take into that, which is sad.
So here's the headwinds that I have here. So medical care cost inflation, if it's higher than they expect, that could be a problem, obviously. Elevated regulatory legal risk from all of the lawsuits that are coming their way. The reputational damage and trust deficit that you were just talking about. They got to rebuild trust with healthcare providers and regulators because that is at an all-time low right now. They get the recent leadership transition, the departure of CEO Andrew Whitty, the return of Stephen Helmsley's complete. That's created a temporary period of uncertainty, but I actually think that this is a good thing for a company that was getting beat over the head left and right with just about everything that you can think of.
Yep.
Having a change is a good thing at this point in time. Tailwinds, demographic trends that are not going to stop. Aging of the U.S. population. Um, that resilient cash flow and shareholder returns. I mean, despite the current operational pressures, the company is just generating cash left and right, $30 billion in annual operating cash flow. They consistently commit to delivering shareholder returns, constantly buying back stocks. The dividend yield's only 3.8%. But I kind of looked at the last 15 years. They've increased it for 15 consecutive years. So even though it's kind of a small 3.38%, it's still increasing year over year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not going down. That's a good thing. Strategic pricing adjustments that they're going through right now, that's going to be a tailwind for the future. And just the valuation right now. Look, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and these guys were all dumping this, and Warren Buffett's picking it up. That's classic Buffett.
Finding the value when others see trash.
Right.
Kind of like how you and I became friends.
One
Take out
one
whatever
thing,
you want.
one other thing to look out here too. There's something called the medical loss ratio. And this comes as a result of the underpriced plans that they had that were relative to the medical cost increase. The
What is
um,
it again? I've never heard this medical cost
it's
ratio.
called the medical loss ratio. Theirs was 89.4%, which was the highest in the industry.
Is that write-offs from like, patients coming to ER and never paying or something?
Right. I don't think that's as high as 89% for that. I would have to look more into how they're calculating it, really. Now that you say that, there's no way 89% of people are
Yeah,
paying.
that's why I'm like, where's this coming from? What's this number? What derives it? Where's it derived from? What's I
Look
want
at
to I have so many questions now.
Cigna's at 82.2% and Elevance Health is at 86.4%. So both high, but still UNH is the highest right now.
What,
Um,
what was this ratio? Say it one more time because I'm gonna
it,
look it up while you're
it is
talking.
called the medical loss ratio,
Okay,
MLR.
go ahead. Continue.
So it is the highest right now. They say that's going to be temporary. As soon as their pricing adjustments go into effect next year, we're going to see that even out.
All right, here you go. You ready? This is from
Yeah.
AI. This is from Gemini. A medical loss ratio is the percentage of premium dollars that a health insurer spends on medical care and quality
Yes.
improvement as opposed to administrative costs, marketing, and profits. It's a measure of how much of your premium money actually goes towards your health care.
Okay.
So 89% of the premiums are going towards healthcare.
Right. I mean, that actually sounds like a good thing,
But it's not
but
if you're running a business.
right, it's not if you're running a business. Exactly. So they want to see that go down.
I'm torn.
I know. I see that in your face. So am I.
I'm so torn right
But
now.
but I guess you could also see it as a measure of efficiency, right? So if you can keep that low, but then also like do better at the
Still
same time.
provide the quality service, then yes.
Right. Right. Yeah, so that's what I have on United Healthcare. I do think this is a buy. There, it's not without its risks, but you're buying a company that is the largest health insurer in the country that's still got a good moat around it as far as cash flow goes and as far as name brand goes, even with all the loss of trust and all of that stuff. I think it's a buy.
I mean, I think it's a buy too, but I'm not buying it.
Okay. Now, hardly transitioning here into yeah, so you actually said who cares? Amazon's already in the grocery business. They're already everywhere, right?
Yeah,
So
Amazon already does groceries. They already do like grocery basically on demand, same day, same hour if you want groceries. If you're in the right area, right part of town, you could do it the same hour.
yes. So I said the same thing when I initially saw the news, but then I read into it. So over the past week, they rolled out what they termed the most significant grocery expansion in history. Well, they said their history. I think it's history altogether.
Did Donald Trump write this?
You would think so. But no, this is actually true. So they're introducing same day delivery of fresh groceries to over 1,000 cities and towns across the United States, which I did not know that there were 1,000 cities and towns across the United States that didn't have this already.
Right? Seriously. I
Right.
mean, we got it right. I mean, right here in Westchester there's a actual warehouse right down right maybe what 3 miles from my house.
Right. So by the end of 2025, there'll be 2,300 more cities and towns by the end of this year. And
Are
there's
they
a broader
building these
goal
cities and towns?
of another 4,000 rural communities by the end of 2026.
Is it the rural communities, communities that they're building their data centers in? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, and it could be, but here's the thing: a lot of people sold Kroger over this, which I would not have done.
Kroger's here. They're
Yeah,
not leaving.
they're not. And listen, I've got the Kroger delivery service. We're members of that. You get $1 off gas for I think it's every $100 that you spend on groceries.
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean that's not going to get touched. But what I would have been looking at and getting a little bit more nervous about would have been your DoorDashes, your Instacarts. Um,
Instacart, yes.
Look, if they're going into 4,000 more rural communities by the end of 2026, your Dollar Trees, your Family Dollars, all of those companies that make all of their money almost off those rural communities, that's a problem for them.
No, because they're going to specialize in delivery. I mean, you're not going to order delivery if you're in a rural community. You're going to go out, you're going to get to the store.
So here's my advantage of experience in this regard, right?
All right, go ahead. Go
All,
ahead.
all
Because just keep in mind, before you say anything, my sister owns a farm in the middle of rural Iowa. And I've
okay.
talked about this with you, a big, huge farm. And
Yeah.
I've been to their farm. I've seen the community. I've hung out with their neighbors. Go ahead. Continue.
So yeah, and I've got family like out in London, Kentucky, and then northern Tennessee that live 45 minutes away from any place that they have to go shopping. And it's a big deal every time they have to do it every week. It is a day of events. It's a whole planned out thing because it's so far away. And oftentimes, like my family, when you live up in the mountains, that's not a trip that you really want to make.
That's true.
So, I mean, if
Now,
you get this delivery, you know,
here's what I'll say to that. You live 45 minutes away from a grocery store, right?
yeah.
I hear this a lot out here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh, that's 45 minutes away, or that's an hour away. And I look at people like that and I'm like, you guys would never last in Southern California. I lived there for a number of years. Everything is 45 minutes away. And there's not a single thing I can do in San Diego that wasn't 45 or more minutes away. And guess what? We did it every single day.
In San
In
Diego,
San Diego,
you
we
would
did it
think if
every
you were
single
in San
day.
Diego, there'd be a lot closer. There'd be more things around you,
Everything's
especially.
closer, compact, it's traffic. And we
Yeah.
did it every single day. You go out, you do your events. You don't make it a whole day thing. It's the way you look at life and living is different in certain parts of the country than others.
Do you
And
take a
I've
subway?
noticed that.
Do you
And
take
I've
a subway?
noticed that. Huh?
Do you take a subway
There's no subway. There's a trolley, but
in
there's no
San
subway.
Diego?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember living out there. Like, I mean, I would drive up to like, Redondo Beach or Riverside or other parts of LA all the time and go hang out with a buddy. It's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive up, and then hour and a half, 2 hour drive down, and then get up and go to work. I mean, I was younger, and get up and go to work the next day, and that's what you did.
So if you're curious though about the price of the same day delivery, it's free for Prime members. Free for Prime members, fresh groceries, you know, 12.99 for non-Prime members is a flat fee of 12.99. It's free if it's over $25, which almost all your groceries now are going to be over $25. Smaller orders would be $2.99.
Gotcha.
And that's a big deal. Like they're
Yeah, it's a
getting
big
high
deal.
margin. So they're getting high margin off a lot of advertising and things like that. And what they're doing is they're taking the advertising revenue and that profit, they're pouring it kind of into this low margin grocery business. But and that was kind of my other thing too. Like this is low margin, but what experts say, the grocery market is valued at about 1.5 to 1.6 trillion dollars. So the
Gotcha.
online portion of that is expected to grow significantly, reaching an estimated 30 or $327.72 billion dollars by 2030. So far, Amazon's share of that is 100 billion.
All right. Yeah,
So
Amazon's a buy. I think this is a great move for them. They're going to continue to grow in the grocery area. They're planning to take this over. They're moving into healthcare as the next big moves. Next, the data centers are going to help and assist with this. AI is going to help and assist with this. Amazon is definitely going to be the umbrella corporation that we saw in video games. So Amazon, yes, yeah, it's a buy. I mean, I have owned it before. I wish I still owned it, but I don't. I would buy it.
yeah, I got it. I have a smaller position than I would like. Kind of waiting on a pullback to buy
Fair
more, but
enough.
I would buy it now if you don't own it.
I still feel like you guys are weak in this part of the country because even when I lived in Europe, you walk 30, 40 minutes to places and walk 30, 40 minutes
So,
back. I think you're babied in this part of the country in
so
Cincinnati, Ohio.
with my where my great grandma used to live which was on a mountain, you had to drive once you got like towards this mountain that she lived
Does
up.
she own the mountain? Because that would be really cool.
It had 500 acres on it.
Fair
It was
enough.
this was a huge place. Like it's a very large mountain with mountains on the mountain. It's wild. But you have to drive 45 minutes up this road, going in circles over the mountain as you go up. No railings on the road. And it's about the
Nice.
size of your car.
And in winter, I bet you it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the entire time you're driving up, you're just looking over the cliff, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. All right. Let's go talk about some events that happened. Let's do this, shall we?
Sure.
All right, first I want to talk about Bullish. I posted on TikTok and Instagram about Bullish for us under the chinchilla pick-in. If you were on TikTok or Instagram, you saw that. I bought Bullish. I own Bullish. I am currently down